Now, the next race on the course is for the Groton School Challenge Cup. This is...
Pronounced correctly.
Well, it's American, you know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Or, yeah. School Junior Coxed Fours. Hello to everybody in the USA. We've had, hundreds of tweets and messages from you saying you're enjoying the coverage. Hang around because the last race of the day features Princeton yet again. So a very, very good day to you. I have absolutely no idea what time it is in the States, but it is here a beautiful Sunday afternoon, which sees Gloucester up against Emmanuel School. Now, this has been interesting, watching the progression here of these crews. Emmanuel, well, they've done amazingly well. They've been a little bit of a surprise package for me. Now, they'll claim me, but they have, because they've really come out the blocks and they've fought very, very hard to get to this final.
They're really, I agree with you, a bit of a surprise package. They're kind of a sleeping giant actually in London, I reckon, Emmanuel. They could be really, really good. And they've done ever so well. Now this is really interesting because I think, again, memory serves me right, that Emmanuel won this event at National Schools Regatta, but it's the first fours, so it's not championship.
No.
And Gloucester, I think, might have been in another race.
They went in a quad.
They were, weren't they? And
Yeah.
they won that.
Yeah.
So this is winners of the quad, I think, against the winners of the four. And my goodness, Gloucester over the last 5 years, haven't they produced some really good crews?
Well, Gloucester Hartbury have a program there where, of course, they have accommodation there. They can put the athletes up, and there's a big concentration there on at sixth form being an elite centre. I think some of them are on the ACE program, the apprenticeship in rowing. We were talking earlier about the junior quads event at Henley Royal, which is, the name's gone right out of my head. However, that event, Gloucester Hartbury have dominated that for the last 2 or 3 years. But here they are in a scrap here with Emmanuel.
No, I would say that Emmanuel, just looking at them, perhaps the neatest rowers, but in terms of power, going back to that power again, I think Gloucester are probably a bit more powerful in this.
Yeah.
Emmanuel have worked really hard all season, and they got that reward at National Schools Regatta. As you said, a little bit surprising because people hadn't really noticed they'd crept up, but they rowed beautifully at Dorney to get that gold medal, and they won't want to let Gloucester get away with this actually, and they're pushing hard. But if you look at the power of the Gloucester Hartbury rowers 2 and 3, they look...
Well, Gloucester had a tough semi. I don't know if you saw it. They were up against Henley, and that was a real scrap all the way down the course. They did overcome them in the end, but they've had a race, and that was only earlier on today. So Gloucester Hartbury here, just beginning, as you say, to lay down a bit of power. And good shots there. You can see the control. It's not looking difficult, but as we've said time and time again in any sport, the real top-end professionals make it look so effortltless and easy, and that is looking very, very professional indeed.
They've just put a massive push in, which has taken them, within a matter of 150 metres, it's taken them a length clear. And we're talking, you've got to have, in a crew boat, with particularly, Martin, with rowing, you've got to have some horsepower in the middle.
Yeah.
You've just got to. You can't really get away with just neat rowing. I think this is what Gloucester have got. They've got some really strong athletes in the middle of the boats, and they're just powering. The leg work is just better. As I said, I think probably the blade work by Emmanuel is really, really sharp. They just probably haven't got the power in the legs. Lovely to see. That's a really great shot. I wonder if we'll see these young ladies putting on a GB vest
Well,
within the next 5 years.
that's the idea, isn't it, with these programs, is to, particularly with ACE, the idea is that they have GB potential and to push them forward to get a GB vest. They're coming up towards the finish now, but they've got some distance. So it looks like that's heading down to the West Country. I'll say it for the last time, the Groton School Challenge Cup. Down at the start, we have the Intermediate Club Coxed Fours. This is for the Leicester Trophy. And we have Warrington. No, it should actually be Wallingford. It's Wallingford Rowing Club against Worcester.
So again, more local interest, and you'll be able to hear that as soon as they get close to the enclosures. And particularly, of course, because Wallingford are on the Berkshire side. Now, who's that getting warned there, Martin?
Not the Berkshire side, or the Berkshire side. No, it's the Buckinghamshire station are being warned, and they are Coxed boats, so that's a tactic, isn't it?
They've come to say
they've come to have a good look at their oppo. Wallingford Rowing Club against Worcester. There we are. So my graphic man is on the ball, and he's got Wallingford at the top of our screens here, and Wallingford are on the right hand side of your screens in red, and it's Worcester who take the lead.
Yeah.
Worcester, who did a wee meander at the start there, back on their own station. This will be interesting. So they are very much Intermediate Club Coxed Fours.
So again, with these Coxed, even the Coxed rowing boats as opposed to sculling boats here, the balance is difficult. Balance, it almost is everything, because it affects the run on the boat. And you see here Wallingford just having a push again, just at the end of that car park, and they've come right back on Worcester. Worcester have seen them, they've taken their rating up a little bit, they're trying to respond. But this is a really, really good race. And again, all these four girls in each boat have got to carry down a Cox. So they've got to have power within them. And this is a really shaping up, Martin, to be a super, super race.
Well, this event, I think I'm right in saying, is one of the most keenly contested. The overall picture is that they've had tight races all the way through. Big entry in this event, big entry. A lot of people trying to qualify, and some of those earlier races very tight. The upshot of that is that we're left today with Wallingford and Worcester in the final, and it looks to me as if coming up to the halfway point, it's Wallingford that have just had what we call a push, and that's where the Cox would ask for not necessarily the rate to go up, but just lay down a bit more power. Let's try and shift the boat a little bit quicker.
And it's really important when you have that push that you don't affect the rhythm and the balance, because you're putting down more power but you're not going any quicker. So it was a great push actually by Wallingford, because they've taken a third of the length there. A fantastic push just at the end of the car park there, and they're still working really hard, because they know that if they can get to that one length and just cut the string, they can really look back, and Worcester are not going to let them do that. And Worcester will have had to have responded. And now we're going to get an interesting race, because, as I said before, lactic acid's going to kick in. Who's going to keep their form? And it's getting a bit scrappy out there at the moment.
But Worcester do not want to lose contact, so they're desperate just to, when I say make contact, just to try and get a little bit of an overlap. Now, have Worcester got a bit in the tank? They're just, to be fair, looking a little bit untidy, but that's with all the effort that's going in. And sometimes, we said the crews that do it well look pretty, blah blah. But if you want to win, sometimes you just smash it. And by smashing it, it doesn't look pretty. But if you get the boat shifting, you can get yourself back on terms.
Well, once you get the boat speed up, that's the key thing. When you have that push, that acceleration, you get the boat speed up. You want to maintain it then, and actually, for a little less effort, often you can maintain the boat speed.
Well, I tell you what, there is not a lot in this. If you look at the
I think Worcester are going
Crew
for the
on
finish
the right.
already, aren't
Worcester are winding up here. They're winding up and they're trying to
Oh.
get through. Wow, what a good race.
they? Absolutely fantastic race.
So it looked.
Just looks like Worcester are slightly smoother at the moment.
I mean,
and
it completely turned turtle
Yeah.
there. One looks smooth, and I've got the commentator bellowing out on the course. You can hear her from here.
well, she's getting more excited than we are,
She-
Martin, and that's saying something.
Terribly excited. And
But
wow,
Worcester-
look at this.
Worcester-
Worcester on the left, Wallingford on the right of the screens, and go
And
on.
I think that
Go on.
Worcester have just had that fantastic push, and it's taken them ahead.
I think so, but the bow girl is absolutely launching into these
Giving
strokes.
Everything. Where is that finish? Where is it? It must be coming up.
I know, they're giving it large
Look at
there
the-
as they cross the finish line. That was a
Absolutely
great
brilliant.
race.
Well done, Wallingford too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
brilliant. Well done, Worcester, because to be honest, they were down for some of that race and they must be absolutely chuffed. Well done, Wallingford. They put everything in it. Brilliant. Single sculls. Let's calm down.
So this is the George Innes Cup for the elite single sculls, as you can see on the screen. University of Virginia, which is Sam Casto, and Cambridge University Women's Boat Club, Melissa Wilson.
And this is kindly sponsored by Leander Club. The prizes today actually are being presented by Debbie Flood of Leander Club, and you can catch that on the streaming. We're going to have prize giving for you. At the moment, it is Sam Castro and Melissa Wilson. So this is another USA British contest.
And it's Melissa Wilson at the moment who's had the better start. A lady from Cambridge University. Really pushed hard off the start, and she's got that length lead. And we just saw Sam Castro just looking over her shoulder a little bit and saying, well, I need to respond now, which she has done. And you can just see she's taken up the rate. She wants to get back on level terms so that the real race will happen in the last third of the race. So it'll be interesting to see if Melissa allows her to do that and whether she'll just respond to any push that Sam does, and just to keep that same distance between her. She'd be quite happy to keep that distance between her and Sam all the way to the finish. So that was one push we've had from the University of Virginia sculler, and Melissa Wilson responded to it extremely well. They've now settled down a bit again.
Well, they both had a couple of races to get here, yes, and in fact, it was no. Sam Castro actually got a bye, didn't she? So she came up against the girl from Tel Aviv, beat her by a couple of lengths. Well, beat her by 5 lengths to be honest with you, and then Wilson also a bye. So they basically just had a semi, and here they are now. Just, I don't know, checking each other out, testing each other. But they're racing, that's
They're
for sure.
absolutely
They are
racing.
racing.
And that's a great shot, a fantastic technique actually. Using every inch of that leg push. You know, the blade is engaged in the water before the legs go back. Often you see that the legs are going back before the blade's been engaged in the water, but not there by Melissa Wilson, just perfect. So Sam Castro having another go at her. She's up the work rate. She knows she's got to get back on track right now, and she's had a go at her.
Yeah, you can see there that they're coming up now with the finish line in sight. It looks to me as if Melissa Wilson has got control over this race, but the American is not giving up. She's having another push here, but I would say probably that Melissa Wilson's done enough here to.
I think
to
she's
get
controlled this
success.
race beautifully, Martin. She got off the start, got that lead, and just responded to any push that the American gave. And I think that's a wonderful racing from Melissa.
Yeah, she's out in front, and she's going to go over the line ahead here. The next race up, which is the elite quadruple sculls. As we see the single scullers, they're making their way towards the finish, and Melissa Wilson looks very much to have that one in the bag. Quadruple sculls race next up.
And this is for the Bourne Cup. And this will be one of the quickest races of the day, because it's the elite women's quad sculls between Leander and Saratoga. And
We're still seeing the closing
but
stages
it's
there.
Leander